Welcome back for it's your boy Lolo, and I'm holding the channel hostage. There's nothing anyone can do about it, not even Lolo himself, because he's gone, he's absolutely gone. There's nothing
I
anyone
don't think so, Mr. Tom. First of all,
yeah.
thank you very much for helping us out these past few weeks, but I don't appreciate you changing the login code so I can't come back when I want to come back. It's Day of the Dead here, and I'm back from the dead. Time to do my show. Get out of here, Tom. Welcome back to the Stoop, football fans. It's your boy Lolo, and yes, I might look a little bit different today, but I am back from the dead to tell you all it's time to talk some football. Happy Friday, everybody. I've missed you all, and I've missed you, Director John, even though I saw you in person the other day, which was weird, but you didn't have a beer with me. So
cheers.
cheers.
I'm just drinking water. I don't know what happened to the opening video. I kept hitting it, but it wasn't playing. So I don't know.
Yeah, that was a weird intro. We kept seeing Tom pop in, and I was like, what have these guys been up to since I've been gone? This is a weird intro. But yeah, thank you guys for holding down the fort when me and Mark were busy these past few weeks. But we can bring Mr. Tom back in here. That was a little mean of me to kick you out there. Hey Tom, how are you?
I'm not bad, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, all things considered.
How did you guess the password? I thought it was foolproof. My evil plan.
Well, I kept typing in, come on, you Gunners, come on, you Gooners, 1-0 to the Arsenal, all these things. And then I thought, well, why don't I try something a little different? So I typed in, all Leeds are we, and it didn't go. And then I tried all Leeds are we live Sundays at 9, and boom, got in. So it was a little shameless self-promotion on your part.
You meant we all love Leeds, you knucklehead. You ruined the joke.
Sorry. It shows that I don't even watch your show. My bad.
It's a sad day. I mean, I banished you from YouTube for a month, and you couldn't even watch my show to repay me for the banishment.
I couldn't even watch the show that you guys were hosting of my show these past few weeks. It's been crazy. But good to see you, man. And I'm glad. I've got so much football nonsense going in my head. I haven't been able to let it out. So this is a good week to let it out. As I just destroyed my internet. Are you still there? Am I still there?
You are.
Okay, good. I was like, I moved my phone and my internet cable was like, no, done. We're done with the show. Anyway, Mr. Tom, what's going on, man? I need to talk about Arsenal. I know you would like to talk about Leeds, but can we just talk about football? Anything you want to talk about that's gone on these past few weeks? Ballon d'Or even. I could even talk Barcelona football if you wanted. Where's Mo Master? I could talk about how Vinny Jr. does not deserve the Ballon d'Or.
Where is Mo Master? I've been very worried about him. I looked all over the dungeon. He's gone. He's escaped somehow. I dropped my guard when I was holding your channel hostage for a month.
He's gone, man. I think he finally stuck to his threat that he had been threatening for about 3 years to not watch the show if we continued talking about Leeds. I
think El Clasico took it out of him.
Well, good.
I think him seeing Rafinha get a hat-trick finally done him in.
He couldn't show up and have Leeds fans talk about how an ex-Leeds player completely demolished Real Madrid and made them look terrible.
I mean, both of those clubs try their best to be really unlikable, but one of them's got an ex-Leeds player that's actually good. A lot of clubs have a lot of ex-Leeds players, but, you know, to differ in degrees of success, I mean, most of them are like here, and Rafinha's like up in space kind of thing. But it's what it is.
Well, big up to Anders, member for 42 months. That is incredible. Thank you so much, Anders. That's awesome. And always the first comment as well. He's always the first one in there. And Valentina is usually a close second in as well.
But we only been on for 40 months.
He's buying extra months every chance he gets. And we're working on that basement time where we're in the future over here. So Anders is even further into the future. But yeah, speaking of Real Madrid, what are your thoughts on this Ballon d'Or thing? Rodri got the Ballon d'Or. He was actually, as much as I dislike Rodri, he was my choice for the Ballon d'Or. And for me, I'm happy to see a midfielder actually get it, because I'm tired of just the guy who put in the most goals, he's the most important. It's like, no. And so Vinny Jr. saying that he deserved it, I was like, where are those numbers? Where are the numbers that show me that Vinny deserves it? When literally the best team on the planet, one of the best teams on the planet, if Rodri is not playing, they have their chances of dropping points is like, the percentage is like tripled if he's not playing. One person, not your goal scorer.
Do you know how many goals he scored? Like, and I know this sounds really silly, like important goals for that club. He got a winning goal in the Champions League final. He got the winning goal. You know when they were losing 2-0 to Aston Villa on the final day of
Yep.
it was either last season or year before. He's the one that pops up with goal number 3. It would have been someone else, but it was him. There's loads of games where he popped up in like 88th minute with a goal, 89th minute with a goal, 90th minute with a goal. I think even one of them was against Arsenal, not to upset you, but you know, the facts are the facts. But he's a big game player. And very few of them. There are very few big game players around these days, clearly. And he's clearly one of them. I'm not going to sit here and be disingenuous and say like I think he deserves it or doesn't deserve it. I really don't care about the Ballon d'Or. I think Real Madrid have shown themselves up to be an absolute state over this. How dare you not turn up to the award that essentially exists for you to? The real reason for it is because they tell a lot of their players, if you come here, you will win this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't prove that, but I imagine a lot of it is basically you join us, because generally that award doesn't go to English clubs.
Yeah,
like this is a very rare thing.
When was the last English? Not that he's an English player, but an English club player to win it.
Cristiano Ronaldo in 2008.
He won it with
Man
United. He won it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's an outlier as well, because it's freaking Ronaldo.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, you're exactly right about the big games. And if you looked at all those stats of like Vinny Jr. doesn't do it for Brazil. He doesn't really do it in the Champions League. He's very much a La Liga player, where he shows up in La Liga, he shows up in their cups. But then when you get to the Champions League, he had 3 or 4 games that he was actually important. But in order to win the Champions League, you need to win, 12 games?
Yeah, I don't know what it'd be now.
10 games or something like that.
More games. Yeah.
And he didn't show up, which was a big thing for me last year when people were screaming for Haaland to get it. I'm like, no. Haaland scores a shit ton of goals, but you got to look at the number of hat tricks, 4-goal games, things like that he has, where I know I'm downplaying a hat trick. A hat trick is a big thing, but when you score 50 goals, yet you had 12 hat tricks, that's 12 games you scored 36 of your goals, your 50 goals. Like that's actually not great when you're playing 50 games. And what did he do in the Champions League? He did fuck all in the Champions League. You have to rely on your Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and Rodri type of players.
He does score Champions League goals, but like we said, when we go
in the group,
well, I was going to say, Rodri scored a goal in the Champions League final. How many Champions League finals did Haaland score in? I think you'll find the answer is duck egg. It's 0. I mean, don't get me wrong. You'll find that
one Mr. Kai Havertz outscores Haaland and Vinny Jr. in finals.
Yeah, but
All right.
what colour shirt was he wearing when he did that?
I don't care. That's in the past. We are living in the future in this basement.
It's kind of important, though, to your argument. BX Gunner's actually right here. Before Ronaldo in England, the previous player in England to win it was Michael Owen. And to win it, Michael Owen basically had to be part of a Liverpool team that won 5 trophies in the calendar year of 2001. Don't get me wrong, and I know people go, "Oh, the charity community shield's not a trophy." I'm like, no, but he still lifted it.
It freaking counts when people are saying Arteta's won nothing, and it's like, hold on, no, he's won 2 trophies. He won the Community Shield once, which is like nonsense.
It reminds me of my favourite argument I've ever had with an Everton fan on social media, because there was a joke about Everton not winning trophies, and I was like, well, it was a very cutting remark, in my opinion, about the fact they've not won anything since August of 1995, which was the Charity Shield, because they beat Blackburn, who won the Premier League. I know Blackburn and Everton in the Charity Shield. It was a different time, Lolo. And I had Everton fans going, "How dare you? The Charity Shield means nothing." I'm like, what? How is it nothing? I mean, it makes you sound a lot less pathetic than you actually are if you're sitting there going, "Our last trophy is the FA Cup." I was like, well, you won this after you won the FA Cup. You're a fucking moron. And I don't like your club. And I'm basically saying you won something after you say you did, but you actually did. And basically, I suspect these people had 6 toes or something, because that's something going on that was wrong with them. But still.
Yeah, well, and I think West Ham winning the Europa Conference League, Declan Rice's last year, they won't shut up about having a European Cup.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, this fucking invented competition just to get more money, which it should be like a consolation trophy, but no, they are European champions of something. West fucking Ham.
They are. So annoying. I've got to give them their due. The fact of the matter is, that competition is set up in such a way that basically every year you're going to get a final, which is basically the English team in it against the Italian team in it or the Spanish team. Basically, the semi-final is going to be Spain, Italy, England, and maybe someone from, like, I don't know how you put it, maybe a French team that's in the tournament, depending on how it gets drawn out. But so you've got to have the same again this year. Chelsea are almost certainly going to win it, and they should. But give West Ham their due. They were in it and they won it, which is more you could say about Tottenham, who were the first English team to be in it. Did they win it? Well, they are Tottenham.
They did not.
The history of Tottenham.
And things are a little messed up this year, Tom. And you're an expert on this due to your Football Manager or whatever you play. But with the Champions League format, which goes down into the Europa League format and all that, there will no longer be Champions League teams that drop down into the Europa League, correct? So, fantastic. And then I'm not sure about the Conference League, but did Europa League teams drop down into the Conference League?
That's what used to happen. I believe that. I think you're right. That did.
Well, that's only like a 3-year-old competition. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, because I think it did happen, but I don't want to put my neck on the line for. I mean, let's just say they did, but the fact of the matter is, it happened. And West Ham won it anyway, and Villa got to the semi-final, even though that happened.
Yeah, but your old Unai Emery,
the actual
Villarreal go from Champions League to Europa League and being fine losing because they know they did well enough to get into the Europa League, and then they can just win that.
Sevilla have 5 Europa Leagues. They have 5 Europa Leagues.
And they all started in the Champions League.
Their reign of terror in Europe, their reign of terror in the Europa League is over. Because unless they want to finagle it so they finish 5th every season, or maybe 6th, because they're actually making it now, so like Champions League teams finish. Hello, Gary, how you doing? But yeah, basically, their days of winning a European trophy every other year is done. Unless they actually genuinely
win they can win the Champions League, but now they don't have Unai, right?
Is it true Mrs. Gary is driving now?
Oh, Mrs. Gary. Hello, Mrs. Gary. I hope you have us on the car speakers so she can hear everything that we're saying.
Nothing but good
yeah,
things.
nothing but good things.
Well, about her, not about Gary.
Yeah, I was like confused by that statement a little bit. Yeah, nothing but good things for you for letting him be on our show and run his own show. But yeah, Mr. Tom, I wanted to ask you a question because you've been watching football a lot longer than I have. And even BX said something like the Ballon d'Or has been crap since before I even started watching football. But this, and then we're talking about like Michael Owen. And I watched a clip of some old footballer explaining how Michael Owen, he would take Owen over Holland, over
Michael Owen was genuinely the best striker on earth at one point, possibly. He genuinely was. I know he's I know he's an absolute laughing stock right now.
Hey, Tom, you just got called an American with a Z.
Oh, hang on. Oh, hey, man, I'm from Texas. Oh, sorry. Hey, bro. Yo, I'm crunking it up here from my hood in Brooklyn. Anyway.
You're like a 90s American going on.
Yeah.
But my question is, Tom, like, doesn't it annoy the shit out of you when you hear these takes on Twitter and on YouTube and shit like that, where somebody's talking about this is the best, Erling Haaland is the best striker to ever play the game, to ever do that, and you know in your heart of hearts that they've never watched clips of Michael Owen, they've never watched Thierry Henry, Ian Wright, other Arsenal.
He will be. He will be.
But yeah, isn't that so annoying? How can you say that?
Yeah, no, that I get your point. Like, don't get me wrong. You know, Stevie Wonder could hear about this man's scoring record and go, if they consistently keeps it up over 10 years, 10, 20 years, he will be the greatest striker to have ever played football. Just flat out, he will be. But he ain't right now because he's been scoring a lot of goals for about 5 years. But Alan Shearer scored a lot of goals for 10 years, 20 years, for example.
Yeah. Like, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Yeah.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is severely underrated. I know he's highly rated on here because of Leeds United and his time with Leeds. I get that. But outside of the football, outside of our bubble, he's very, I wouldn't say high. He's a sore player. Everyone knows he was good, but I think they underestimate just how much of to quote the men on the street, the bags man, because he knows how to bag the goals. Yeah.
So let me ask you then, and I'll ask you guys in the comments as well. If for all these youngins, for all these people who are very full of opinions and want to tell you that Mo Salah is the greatest to ever play the game, Erling Haaland is the greatest striker we've ever seen in our life, if you could take a minute and educate people, who are like the 5 players from the past that you would say, watch these montages of these players, not necessarily strikers. You could talk keepers if you want, defenders. Who are like what are the 5 players that you would choose to educate somebody in football history so they can stop making stupid statements like that?
Right. Obviously, we're just take it as read. Obviously, Messi and Ronaldo, we're not going to count them in this because I could be really lazy and go.
I would say Messi not currently playing. How about not currently playing?
Right. So off the top of my head, right, you're going to go Alan Shearer as a striker because he's just again knows where the goal is. It like almost Harden levels of knows where the goal is, but obviously in a time where the game was a lot slower and basically on more terrible pitches. Obviously, Diego Maradona, quite again, scored one of the greatest goals you'll ever see in football on a pitch that is like a gardener's allotment. Like, you should not be able to move the ball on this field of play the way he did against England in 1986. Romario, he was my first hero in football. Like, when I first got into football, he was the man. He was flat out. He was the man. He turned up that 94 World Cup. and he was just
your favorite World Cup, by the way.
Well, yeah, but he just turned. He was clearly the best player at it. And there were a lot of great players there, but he was the man. Like, that's the best way I could put it. Obviously that gentleman there, Ben Ireland. So yeah, he's obviously filmed through a potato, but I'm sure he was a great player. Fat Ronaldo is basically like the successor to Romario, but again, arguably even better. I don't think he was, but a lot of people will say he will. Opinions are fine, especially when they're similar to mine. Defensively, obviously, Paolo Maldini, very, very good. Lucas Radebe, obviously, a little bit biased, not going to put him on my 5, but I probably should because he's great. Midfielder-wise...
You're at 6 already, so...
Yeah, Georgi Hagi of Romania from 1994. Again, just a total wizard with the football. He did play for Barcelona. I could be right. He might have played for Real Madrid. I don't think so. He did play for the scummy Galatasaray side that beat Leeds, sadly, but partly why they did. Yep. So, yeah.
I'm trying to keep up with you. with you there.
Obviously, from 2002, like that's more getting outside. Mark Viduka for Leeds. Don't write him down, John. Don't wait. Save yourself some time. But he did score 4 goals in a Premier League game against Liverpool, and he is the largest man you'll ever see in your life who you cannot knock off the ball. Because Ronaldinho also. I mean, there's a lot of Dinios and stuff like that, but Baresi, another great defender.
Zidane.
Let's not name Harry Kuehl. Let's not try and upset me, Matt. Let's not try and do that.
I like this Matt guy already. Welcome to the show, Matt, by the way. And just so you know, your first comment up there, those are the type of comments we love to see, so keep them coming. We talk a lot of shit on this show, so if you feel like talking shit, let it fly, my man. Let's go.
Yeah. You might be right. Lolo might be correct in the fact of basically try and pick a fight with Tom in the chat. You're always on to a winner.
Yep. You will distract him, and and go ahead, Matt. Let us is that Australia?
I could be reading out War and Peace live on air, but I will break my reading to have a fight with someone in the chat. I've no concentration skills at all.
But this is getting me thinking because I get so annoyed at the this is the best play. We have never seen a player play like this, and I'm like, oh my God. There have been players who have played the game before there were cameras to film it that were doing things that we have no idea of. And yes, they probably aren't as good as weren't as good as some of the players we have now because they had day jobs. They were also putting petrol in cars and then going, oh shit, I got to get to Wembley, or not Wembley, I got to get to the fucking stadium to play.
I have big issues with Pele, right? And I do accept, right, just because it's just accepted. Like FIFA always name him as the greatest player of all time. In my opinion, it's a marketing exercise. In the way, like the Ballon d'Or is a marketing exercise. FIFA is basically giving an award to who it wants to promote the football brand behind. It's like in the same way. Does the Best Picture Oscar actually go to the movie you enjoyed the most in that year? Of course it doesn't. It goes to whoever the Academy wants to slap itself on the back for promoting, like the year that Al Pacino won it for like playing a blind man. And basically, if you play some sort of disability in a film,
that was a great movie.
I'm sure it was a fine movie. But I'm pretty sure I enjoyed The Wild Robot a lot more than I'm probably going to enjoy whatever wins Best Picture this year. That might not turn out to be true. They are good movies, but I'm sure I hope my point is coming across that FIFA, basically, when you pass the amount of years, sorry, I'm back and forward on this, but the amount of years where it was like Lewandowski should have won it, the Ballon d'Or, like based on factual performances, it should have gone to Luka Modric a lot of times when it didn't. Or Lewandowski, like Junior Firpo should have won this year, in my opinion.
I mean, to not even be invited was just like, I did like that Firpo tweeted out, I ain't even going.
He's right. He's right too. He's right too. But at Scooby, my thing with Pele, right, and I'm not going to say that I've seen him play to say he's good or not, but he's like, I've scored 1,000 goals. I was like, yeah, but you can only prove like 4 of them.
Not 4 of them, but
because it was from a time where they're not in footage.
Yeah,
like, if I lived back then, I might as well turn around and say to someone that's writing a football book, like, I scored 7,000 goals. You know, like, it's just the truth. Admittedly, one of the goals he scored was fantastic, like as a team goal. I'm sure you've all seen it, the 1970 World Cup final, when they just passed the ball from back to front, and then he lashes one in, and like the whole country like collectively tosses itself off to him, and all that, as should, because it was fantastic. But sorry, I'm just rambling on here. But that was a great goal, but I don't believe he scored 998 of them. Whereas I know Cristiano Ronaldo scored whatever amount of goals he said, because it's a time where these things are 900. Provable.
Yeah, they can check it. They can check it and go back and do all that. Yeah, interesting conversation. Because I myself as well, like I'm not trying to say like I know. I'm also a person who has a YouTube channel and who tweets shit and who says, this guy is incredible. Nobody's doing things like this. I haven't seen this type of play. I also didn't watch until the 2000s. So anything that happened before, I've only seen in highlights, or if somebody like you has told me, like I wouldn't know of Tony Yeboah. I wouldn't know, players, Hasselbank, players like that, unless you had told me.
Oh my God.
Yeboah, sorry. I just always in my head, yeah, boy. That's what I hear every time I try to say it.
Just even hearing his name just brings up thoughts. Like, his 32 goals for Leeds United is one of the greatest compilation videos on YouTube. I'll tell you.
And I've watched it.
It's amazing. Like, about 3 of them are tap-ins, and the other 29 are from like a combined yardage of like 1 million yards out of the goal. Not factually true. Don't add it up. I can't be bothered. But I mean, Cristiano's a good player, but at the same time, I wouldn't trust him in a Las Vegas hotel room. Whereas I could kind of leave Tony Yeboah with my wife, and I know everything's gonna be all right. Anyway, sorry, what? That's not PG.
Where's Tony? Where's Tony? Which Tony? Newcastle Tony or West Ham Tony? I'm not sure. Big up, Rosie. Good to see you as well. I like that she said, nice makeup, Mr. Tom. Banging makeup, Mr. Tom.
Yeah. No, I got that. Good. Yeah, no, I got nah. It makes a change. It makes a change from her usual 2 jokes that she puts out on me. So nice.
Hey, Tony just texted because he's watching from work. He said, I'm at work. Hey, so there you go. Any questions for them? They're on the chat.
West Ham Tony.
Or Tony Shipwreck. Yeah, we have Arsenal Tony as well.
There's Tonys everywhere. It's a common name for some reason.
Yeah, this is going to be a Lolo and Tom show with the occasional director John popping in. Unless anybody wants to join us, you let us know. We'll send you the link. You can talk to us. It is happy hour.
I'll send it via my brainwaves, whereas I'm pretty sure it would probably be...
The password is all Leeds are we. We all love Leeds, something like that. And he says, Tonys are massive. Okay, be careful, Tony. Be careful what you're texting, because I'm just reading them out without pre-reading them. So Miss Molina's here as well. Good. We'd love to have Miss Molina on the show, too. Get on the show.
On Friday night, Miss Molina's turned up. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And look, Director John just put the link out there for anybody who wants to do it. Go ahead and join us. You don't have to put makeup on, but
the universal sign for we're boring Director John, and he wants to hear from someone else. And he's like, just everyone come on. We have a big free-for-all, and I'll sit here and I'll drink a sip of my delicious Pepsi. Other soft drinks are available, probably, but not in this house.
All right. So, and Tony says, love the NWO shirt, Tom. And I just feel like your NWO shirt with my makeup, I feel like I'm auditioning for NWO right now, back in the day.
To be honest, there's not many people on Earth that wasn't a member of the NWO, so you probably have a good chance. Sir.
Dennis Rodman, right? Somebody mentioned
Rodman.
Dennis
True.
Rodman.
It's factually true. It's factually true.
Put that in the comments.
I also believe Dr. Harold Shipman was in the NWO allegedly. Sorry, no, don't Google that. Don't Google that. Do not Google that. Sorry, that was really tasteless. I apologise. I really should not have said that, but I probably will again. So
I don't get the reference, so I will Google that later and text you in the morning. So yeah. Speaking of the morning, Arsenal play at 8:30 in the morning our time. Rough one there for us. I don't know how we play the last match of the week last week, and we play the first match of the week this week. More to cry about for Arsenal fans, and it's something that I put in the thumbnail this week.
I love that thumbnail.
Arsenal are complaining once again. They blame the refs.
Blame.
Shit.
Blame. Like David Blame.
You know what's so dumb, John? When you texted me saying, "Did you misspell that on purpose?" And I was like, "No, sorry, just dumb." And then I went back and looked at it, and I was like, "I didn't misspell it, did I?" And I'm still looking at it, going, "Fuck, how do you spell blame?" David Blame. Oh shit. Yeah. But
I went to see him when he was up at London and he was suspended.
David Blame?
Box. Yeah, David Blame. David Blame himself.
Now listen, Tom. I am a member of the Arsenal community. I am part of the problem, as they like to say. I am active on social media, active-ish. I'm an activist. Arsenal fans are pretty unbearable, are they not? Like, I'm one of them, and I'm like, fuck, I can't stand it. Now, is this the same with all teams? I know Leeds are very bad about it as well. I did see a meme of like, Leeds win, best team in the world. We're champions of Europe. Leeds draw, something. Leeds lose. I'm fucking done.
Who the draw is? Yeah.
Is it all fan bases that are like this, or is it just generally me seeing? And
no, it's all football clubs. It's all football clubs, to be fair. Just obviously some fan bases are more vocal than others. Some simply have more fans. Like for a club of our standing, we have a lot of fans. So obviously because you know, I mean, it's just how the Twitter algorithm works in general, I imagine, or X as some call it. I say some, we're all supposed to, but I'm still going to call it. I'll be 90 years old on my deathbed and I'll still go, that fucking motherfucker on Twitter or whatever. But yeah, generally speaking, every club has this element where basically there's like a civil war between their fan base.
Well, I try not to, as much as I get frustrated with the VAR decisions, the red cards, the this, that, and the other, even down to like the Liverpool match where the last play of the game, where it's like we should have a final corner kick. It's kind of clearly a corner kick for Arsenal. Everyone is saying, even the commentators, oh, that's clearly a corner kick. No, it's not. They kick the ball off, blow the whistle, end of game. As much as I want to blame that, BLAIM, as much as I want to blame our draw on poor refereeing decisions of the whistle going for a foul that isn't always called a foul, that we end up scoring on, things like that, where I'm of the mindset like that one last corner you're not guaranteed to get anything from it. You haven't gotten anything from any of the corners through the rest of the game. Or if you do, you get one goal out of every 6 or 7 corners that you kick. What's making you think the last one of the game you're going to get? And that goal that happened, listen, we should be scoring more goals than that. However, there is this like it's something. It's that what's it called? An echo chamber on the internet where I have this slight feeling of we were wronged. We were wronged. But if you look at the times that we were wronged, even if we were wronged, actively wronged in that game against Liverpool, it was what, 2, 3 things that happened? I'll give it 3 things that happened. Virgil van Dijk kicking Kai Havertz on purpose twice in a row, kicking him once and not kicking him hard enough, and then kicking him again. Kai Havertz goes down, nothing. Okay, okay. The goal, that's a foul, okay. Then
that was the correct
corner
decision.
Kick. To me, it's a foul. They call that a foul. Half the time they call that a foul on the guy who doesn't move. And that would have been a free kick for us, which looked like what he was going to do because he was like letting play go on, which showed me that it was a foul for us. And then he calls it a foul. Either way, that to me, call that a foul or not a foul. In the end, those 3 instances, we still had, 80 minutes where we should have put that fucking game away? So am I really mad at the referees, or is it a frustration that my team didn't do what they were supposed to do?
It's just easier to blame it on the ref.
But then you get in that echo chamber. You get in that echo chamber of Twitter. And
I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's what happens.
And they're like, no, you're right. Actually, look at this. Oh, and the penalty decision for Martinelli where wasn't even, they looked at it for 2 seconds and were like, no, Konate got the ball. And then we're now like frame by frame looking at it, and no, it doesn't look like Konate ever got the ball. Why are we frame by frame looking at it? Isn't that VAR's job? So I'm just trying to, I was actually glad that I didn't come out and do the show right away after that match, because I've just gotten into this like brain fog of, I don't even trust myself anymore. Like, yeah, some decisions could go other ways, but I don't watch every single team. I don't know how many times other teams have been fucked or not fucked. I know for a fact that the referees in the Premier League just aren't fantastic. Are they corrupt? I don't think they're smart enough to be corrupt.
No, they're not. It's just everyone suffers incompetence. But clubs with louder fan bases, obviously you hear it more when their club actually gets it. It gets the blunt end of the stick, or however the saying is. The real truth is that refereeing in general is a thankless task. No one's ever going to say, you know what, the ref did really well this week. And the best way you can actually gauge if the ref did well is if both teams are angry at him.
Yeah, and that's good. If both teams are angry, you know what? You fucked up multiple decisions, but it seems kind of fair. And no, Tony, this is not the conspiracy against Arsenal. This is actually me saying, and I don't know, Tom, does it sound the other way? Does it sound like I'm...
No.
To me,
no,
I'm saying...
To be fair to you, no, I think it sounds common sense-ish. In my opinion, not that I want to speak to you, but in my opinion, it's the sort of thing you say 6 days after the fact, when you've had time to actually sit there and think about it, rather than going live online 22 seconds after the final whistle ended, and then basically what you really want to happen and it hasn't happened, and then you're angry about it. But after 6 days, you sit there and go,
Yeah.
I've come on here after like Leeds have had a shit result on a Friday night and been furious. Like, there was one time I actually come and said Leeds got fucked over by Patrick fucking Bamford, being said he was offside. In hindsight, he was offside.
He was
but
offside.
In that moment, I felt like they'd got it wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't have admitted that at the time to David Villamartin.
And Tony, Tony says his Arsenal mate feels it's a conspiracy against them. The problem is, if you were to actually put together some evidence and like put together a pitch of this is why there is a clear conspiracy against Arsenal, because, well, we kick the ball away and get a second yellow. Then we do it again and get a second yellow. In these other games, people kick the ball away, nothing happens. Well, I think it's because in these certain rules have been brought in and said, listen, we're not going to let people do this and that and the other. And then you have a big match and you have Arsenal, a bigger club, do it. And you go, boom, no, that's not going to happen. We are not doing that anymore. And then the next week, you have a different referee in a different situation with different clubs and some different players, and they kick the ball in a different way where he, in his mind, he goes up to the player and says, hey, don't do that. I'm going to have to book you for that. Stop that. You're making me have to book you. And that's all we're saying is like, well, where was that for Declan Rice? Where was that for Trossard? Like, why were you so quick to do that? So it's a consistency thing, not a conspiracy thing.
Something I've noticed with
I feel like the referees in an Arsenal match, in a Liverpool match, in a City match are more likely to put their stamp on the game. And then in other matches, they're like, you really want me to fucking send somebody off for that? Like, no, like, come on, just keep playing. Let's keep playing. Let's keep playing the game, which is more common sense things. And then after it happens, they probably are sat down and told, hey, common sense, you probably shouldn't have sent Declan Rice off in a game like that. Or not Declan Rice, Trossard. In the Man City Arsenal match at halftime, past stoppage time, a foul like that, look, you had an out. You didn't have to send him off. And you fucked.
I think it's a discipline problem. I genuinely think it's an Arsenal discipline problem. And anyone who wants to get angry at me over that is absolutely entitled to. But at the same time, you've had 19 players sent off under one manager's tenure.
Welcome back to the show, Mark.
And other clubs are not other clubs are not even close in that same time frame. There is a reason a lot of these players are getting sent off, and it's because of their decisions. That's fine. That's
you
fine.
sound just like Mark. Okay, then let me ask you: William Saliba being sent off. Did you see what Mickey Van de Ven did last week? Did you see what Disasi did for Chelsea?
I don't care.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You want to call it? You want to call it a discipline thing? Last man, it's not they run past each other and fall down.
It's not going to be a conspiracy not 18 times, is it? Nah.
But
that's a lie. Why you got to lie on a Friday night of all? Such a lie. That's a lie. I shaved for this shit. It's a lie. That road has always been a rotter. That's why Aberdeen won the other night.
Scooby-Doo 2 quoting Dr. John. You know, I knew Dr. John. Fucking fantastic dude, that guy. But yeah, that sounds great. And he talked like this, and he said, "It is what a TI is, Bubba." I love Dr. John. Anyway, Anthony saying Arteta spent $850 million on his own team and won nothing with his own team. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, he is going to argue that he won an FA Cup, though, isn't he?
No, I'm not going to argue that nonsense.
No, I mean, because Arteta would argue that because he lifted the trophy.
But what Anthony is saying is on his own team and won nothing with his own team. I see what he's saying. It's that bait.
I know what he means
because he won it with Unai's team. He won it with Unai Emery's team. Anyway, I also think Arteta has spent $850 million, if that number is correct, on changing the culture and the entire everything about Arsenal, changing it around and getting us out of the mud. And so that hasn't come to a trophy yet, a real trophy yet, but I feel like we are finally. Had we got a trophy in those years, it wouldn't have been sustainable and we would have gone right back to fuck all. And I feel like we're finally in a place where we could potentially win multiple trophies in back-to-back years. which wouldn't have been the case had we just somehow won the Europa League, something like that, where it's like, yeah, and then we just go to Champions League and we fuck off and
I'll
die.
tell you the real problem with football, right?
I'm going to get a beer. I'm listening to you.
It'll go back to money in football and everything like that. But in my opinion, the real problem in football is when it became acceptable to finish fourth because of the money that you can generate through finishing fourth or above. Like the disappointment of Arsenal fans maybe 3 seasons ago, the year that Tottenham finished fourth and you didn't, it was ultimately your season hinged on finishing fourth. I mean, now you're getting seconds. I appreciate that, Lawrence. I mean, see how easily distracted I get by the comment section. I mean, it's true. You know what? Yesterday, I actually dressed up as someone that knew what the fuck he was talking about. But I've gone back to my usual
so
thing.
Tom, somehow in this, you're like, where it all fucked up? With Arsene fucking Wenger, who was happy with 4th place for 22 years.
That is true. That was the real drop in standard of your club, right? And I'm not saying that to insult him. He's a great football manager. He's a great football manager.
Have a point.
However, your club, you were fighting 1 and 2. Obviously, when Chelsea entered the frame with all the money, it's 1, 2, and 3 kind of thing. But eventually, that the acceptance of finishing fourth was when your club actually became we have a new standard and it's lower than the previous standard.
Well, that coincided with the Emirates, with spending the money to get the Emirates, and it was like, listen, we're gonna do this, but we're not going to be able to purchase the type of players that you're going to want us to, because we don't want to go all the way, we don't want to fuck ourselves completely. So they maintained in the hopes that something crazy happens and you could win the league. We were close a couple times. The Leicester season, we probably should have won that. We're the only team that Leicester didn't beat. The only team that Leicester didn't beat. And you know what? To fucking do that, how pitiful was that? Everybody's like, oh, what a great, incredible Premier League season, a team like Leicester. And I'm just going Leicester. Like, yeah, we weren't anywhere near catching them.
The title race was Leicester and Tottenham, but Tottenham managed to Tottenham it. Like, Tottenham managed to finish 3rd in a 2-all race. That's the standard of Tottenham. But still, like, you're right. Like, that season was actually quite... Southampton, I think, finished 6th or 7th, for example. Like, you actually look at a table from that year, it's surreal. It's like football fell on its head kind of thing. But it was very much a season where all the big 6, and including Tottenham, basically all decided, no, you know what? We don't want to win a lot of points this year. Let's just see what happens if we underperform collectively as a group. It was the best thing that happened for the Big 6 because it enabled them to actually get through the TV deal that they wanted, which then made sure that Leicester actually couldn't capitalise on that. Because you started all getting more of the TV deal, if I remember rightly, because you all successfully argued that basically people watching the Premier League to watch your club specifically, so you actually are entitled to a bigger slice of the pie, and you got it. Rightly or wrongly, it's what happened. But also it enabled it's the best thing that happened with the Premier League financially, because it managed to allow the Premier League to promote itself as anything can happen, because it did. But from then on, it's just gone back to what it's always really been. The illusion of competition more than actual competition.
Oh, I mean,
I'm not saying anything that's groundbreaking or that you just don't already know, but it's why.
No, it's good stuff, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I was checking the comments to see how people are following along with our conversation, and they're just talking to each other. This is just a Friday night. No.
They all want to know. They want to know what colour socks Rosie's wearing or whatever. They're like, "Oh, Rosie, what are you doing?" Rosie, what are you doing tomorrow?
Rosie's the most popular person on this show. We know more about her than we know about anything that we've been saying.
It's just it's a wild turn of events, I'd say. Some would say. That's some being me. Anyway, sorry.
It's all right. And to answer a question for Tony, thoughts on our match? We will get to that in the second half of the show for sure when we go through our
Tony,
predictions.
Hold out for about 12 minutes, and then we can do the betting in the dark. Where
that's a little hint for betting in the dark. All right, it looks like we'll have some Arsenal Newcastle on there.
Can we talk about what a fraud Jesse Marsh is? Because Moss is here.
Sure.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, let's do it.
Just genuine fraud. Hello, Moss. How you doing? I do love Moss. He's a good guy, but at the same time, we've got to bring him down from cloud 9 back to earth on this.
Why is he so happy?
Because he's doing well at Canada. Well, I'll talk about at Canada, in Canada.
Moss is Canadian, I assume.
Of course he is. He's the most staunch Canadian I know.
Oh,
I know two Canadians, and one of them's Bret Hart.
All right, Tom.
Oh, we're just checking you're paying attention, Rosie. Because I thought you was in conversation with like all your mates in the chat. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't blame you. Because I'd do that if I had mates in the chat. But still, I almost don't want our new Nickelback.
What are they talking NFL now?
I think he means quarterback. I could be wrong.
Well, no, there is a Nickelback, but I don't know how the Nickelback would get 2 interceptions. I don't know.
What, Moss? Genuine question. What happens if Jonathan David goes down and can't play? I'm in touch wood for your sake. It won't happen. But what happens? Like, what does Jesse Marsh then do? Because I get into a lot of arguments on socials, and I got into a Canada fan who basically, like, he come up with all these things, like, since Jesse Marsh was here, we've moved up to number 38 in the world. I was like, you will never convince me that Jesse Marsh is anything but a charlatan simply because he had Rafinha and then still played the ball through the middle. You'll never convince me he has anything of value or tactics to his game other than, what, lads, go out there and run a lot. Lads, I want you to work really hard. You're all great people. We've got vibes. Pure vibes. Pure vibes. I can do that. I'm not saying I should be a professional football manager. But at the same time, I can sit there and go, guys, we've got great vibes. Let's just go out there and win. And they'll go, how are we going to do that? And I'll be like, what are you best at? And if Rafinha turned around and went, well, I'll play on the wing. If I'm to do my best Jesse Marsh impression, I'll go, right, we'll play the ball straight to Brendan Aronson every time we can. Because he's my mate. I'm sure Jesse Marsh is a lovely guy. I'm sure he's a lovely man. I'm sure I'd get along with him. Shouldn't have been managing Leeds United, though. In hindsight. And I defended him when he was at Leeds United. Because I don't believe in sacking the manager every 5 minutes. I believe in actually trying to support your club and the people that work for it. But in hindsight, you can look back and go, yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that, Jesse. You probably shouldn't have got your best player doing long throws.
He had Rafinha on long throws?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Rosie, we invited you to click on the link and join us because it's just Tom and I talking tonight. But if you're not up for it, you're not up for it. But we'd love to have you sometime if you wanna join in one day. But that being said, Tom, it's just been put in here. Didn't Leeds draw 0-0 with Bristol City? You did.
Yeah, that's factually true. And if you was able to see it, because there were issues with the presentation of the match. It was awful. It was awful. I mean, don't get me wrong, the result wasn't great. Could have been a lot worse. But the actual presentation of the match is the worst I've ever seen on television. You could barely see it. There were some seconds of the game. If the ball was in a certain position, you could not see the ball because of the sunlight. It was like, I don't know if you've actually seen this on like comedy football videos, but you know, like if there's snow on the pitch and they're playing with a white football because you know they're meant to play with an orange one. With some games, the orange ball busts and only have a white one. So then they're playing. It's look like you're playing ghost football. That's what it looked like on Saturday.
Yeah, but that's what it looked like on television. On television, that's what it looked like. But on the pitch, they were able to see the ball.
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. And what I'm categorically saying is just because I didn't enjoy the viewing experience, that's not why we didn't win. I'm not making an excuse like Leeds didn't win the game because the television product was shit. It's just what happened to happen. It just wasn't good. It really wasn't good. And I said this on Saturday after it happened. Like, not because I've seen other people saying it. They're saying it because it's true. Fact of the matter is, the TV, it felt like the director of the TV channel had been on the piss the night before and had stumbled in and go to camera 1, camera 2. Yeah, I'll have the camera high up in the sky because I have to show you the picture of it. If I can find one, show the picture of how bad it. You could barely see anything. Incredible. If Lee,
it was my first time doing it. Stop yelling at me.
They hired Director John.
If Director John had done it, it would have been worse. He'd have had the camera up in space. Probably.
Yeah, he doesn't do lighting. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on this weekend? This weekend, you guys play.
He would make sure that Ben was
Plymouth,
sat correctly for the camera, though. I'll give him that. He'll make sure that the camera was on Ben, right? I'll give him that. My apologies, Lolo. What was the question, sir?
You play Plymouth, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, Plymouth Argyle.
We play Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle. Hopefully, we can put such a beating on them that we get him sacked for the second time in 2024. And this is where I'm a massive hypocrite because I have openly said I don't like when people get sacked. I don't push for people getting sacked, but it would actually be quite funny if Wayne Rooney got sacked because let's be fair, he's not going to end up a poor lad. It's not like he's going to be out on the street because he loses his job at Plymouth. He's not going to be wandering drunkenly into the old lady's home. He's just going to go home.
I mean, he might be, but not.
He might stop off there, admittedly.
Not because of you guys.
Sorry. I've just got a quick phone call. Wait, Stevie Wonder said he could see that Rosie's made a joke where she's basically like cheering on Plymouth, and she's going to say it's not a joke, and she actually is cheering on Plymouth. But yeah.
Who does Rosie support?
It's exactly what you said. Exactly what you said, mate. Sorry,
who does Rosie support?
Rangers / anyone who's playing against Leeds and Arsenal.
Oh, nice.
Or England.
All right. I like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Not a joke. There you go.
Not a joke. I knew it. I got the prophecy of foresight. Either that or I hear that from her every week.
Well, that's awesome. Well, guys, we're at the halfway point in the show, so we are going to take a quick bio break because we are old men drinking. That hour went fast, Tom. Well done.
Fast.
All right, y'all. We are going to take a quick, I believe, 2-minute break, right, Tom? John, is that what we decided?
Yes.
We will be back in 2 minutes after this quick little break that shows you a little bit about Stoop history for y'all. So smoke them if you got them. Go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. We will be back with Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom for all of your crazy gambling needs. And then Tom and I will break down week 10 and give our predictions for the Premier League after hearing that. So we will be right back. Hit it.
One internet show combines a picturesque Brooklyn neighborhood, the most popular sport around the world, some cameras, microphones, and attitude. News 12's Dan Serafin tells us about On the Stoop.
If you're a soccer fan in New York City, you probably look back fondly on getting together in a large group to watch a game. One Brooklyn fan,
what's going on, football fans? It's your boy Lolo.
Wanted to create that atmosphere for everyone.
We want to bring what it feels like to be in a bar, to be in a pub, to be out in a stoop in Brooklyn, and just talking football.
Working behind the scenes on television and movies meant Lolo had all the equipment.
I've always wanted to be in front of the camera, and I'm always entertaining people backstage. I got my buddy Mark, who's one of these guys at the bar who didn't even watch Premier League, but had Premier League talked at him.
Never watched a single match of football until the day before we shot. Just never had an opportunity to watch it, learn about it, and now it's a crash course.
And now he watches more football than most.
I was mispronouncing names so badly.
But that became our thing.
Exactly,
where it's
and
like,
now I don't do it so often.
In a little more than a year that the show's been in existence, the guys tell me they've seen a rise in viewers and followers on social media. They've also welcomed guests onto the show from all over the world.
Manchester, Madrid, Dublin. We're 50% facts and about 80% attitude, but we make it fun. Yeah. And we don't care if we're wrong. Just like being in the bar.
They'll talk soccer in the rain, in the snow.
Last summer we had a kiddie pool.
We sat here in the kiddie pool because it was so hot.
On the Stoop with Lolo has new shows whenever the Premier League is in action. I'm Dan Seraphin, News 12.
Oh, that's a quick 2 minutes. All right. Yeah. Woo. Okay. We're back. All right. Hope you all enjoyed that little break. 2-minute clip is much different than a 3-minute clip. All right. So let's get to it. Mr. Tom, are you
still have the pod?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We bring it out all the time in the summer. Yeah, well, let's get to it. Let's get down and dirty with Mr. Tom's Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom. Let's do it.
Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
All right, and just a little disclaimer here. We do not encourage you to place any of these bets because we do ask Mr. Tom to find the craziest bets that he can make that have a slight chance of happening, but it will usually turn $1 or £1 into hundreds because they are that crazy. That being said, it's only $1. Have a little fun. So let's do it, Tom.
When the fun stops, stop. And it'll probably
Making
stop
Lolo Cry
quickly.
edition. Oh, shit.
You know what that means? Because if Lolo wants Arsenal to win, this will make him cry. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Come on now. That's money, baby.
Gordon?
Yeah. Because he was at 10-1 when I was doing it. So obviously that would it was him or Isaac, obviously.
Yo, I mean, to be honest, that's not a bad bet, Tom.
It's really not. It's really not. It'd be worse if it wins.
But if Tony's listening, Tony, update us on the fitness of Anthony Gordon because I feel like he hasn't been playing as much. I feel like he's kind of lost his spot. I don't know if he was injured or something. Hasn't what's his name? The old Leicester guy, Harvey Barnes, kind of taken over there a little bit for him. But as much, big Arsenal fan here. Do not want this to happen, but if it's gonna happen, yeah, Anthony's right there with us. That's a good bet. Yeah.
There's no reason you shouldn't do that, Lawrence. That is a fair bet.
You could switch it and just do 2-1 to Arsenal. Anthony Gordon scoring first and Kai Havertz scoring.
I mean, I'm not trying to get people to waste lots of their money, but there's nothing to say that you couldn't half your dollar and do 2-1 Newcastle, 2-1 Arsenal. Because if one of them wins, you get paid. So, but still, I mean, is what it is. So I apologise to all the Arsenal fans that I've yet again gone against you. Becoming a. What does the duck think? Hang on, sorry. Yeah, the duck thinks you should do both, Lawrence. So, sorry. Did you mean Finger the Duck, or did you mean Cyril? Is that okay? Yeah, okay. No, he thinks you should. He thinks you should do what you initially said. Yeah, Cyril said go with Newcastle. So the Ducks have spoken, supposedly.
Well, if you want to place a $1 bet and get $234.97 back, this could possibly land. I do like that we're still using the sandcastle logo.
Well, while their ownership stays that way, I see no reason for that to change.
Yeah.
Pan, it's on one bet alone. What is your bet, Scooby? Or do you decide out of research?
What is that one bet? All right, Tom. Let's see what else.
Almost like that's got me more excited, as in because I know what's coming here, whereas I don't know what Scooby's got on the pipeline. I've got basically gone. This is Ipswich's time to shine. I predict they are going to win the next 30 games or 28 games or however many games left. And they're just going to start rolling now with a 4-0 win at home to Leicester. Yeah. Cash. But the real reason I'm going for this, in all seriousness, is simply because usually a promoted team, if they only win one game in a season, it's usually something like they'll put on their DVD for life. Like it's a statement win that they could go, oh, you remember that time we did X, Y, Z? Like Barnsley beat Liverpool in the Premier League, for example. That is a real thing that happened in 1998. You get these kind of results. They're considering it, but they can't do it now anyway, because registration-wise, it'd have to happen in January, Lawrence, I believe.
Hold on, Tony's back here. Tony, what's up with Anthony Gordon? Is he going to play? I had him in my fantasy team in the beginning of the season, but something, I don't know what's going on.
If you don't mind, John, could you please put it back up for the benefit of the Newcastle fan in the chat? Thank you very much. Yes, you're right, Tony. I have gone with your club. I kind of weighed it up. I'd rather upset all the Arsenal fans than the one Newcastle fan that I know. Sorry, what? Sorry, did I just give away the way that I do this?
Gordon played.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bad. It's not a bad thing. I'm just not a bad bet. I'm just saying you get that kind of money because it's not gonna fucking happen, Tony.
I mean, if you see my record, I wouldn't be too pleased about being picked. But saying that, West Ham won last week, and I predicted West Ham to beat Manchester United.
Well, Manchester United play Chelsea this week, and I'm expecting a Manchester United win.
Why are you going to Billy's bar, sir?
Me?
Well, I know you've been in Billy's bar. I mean, Scooby. Interesting. Bubbles they do have a decent record against the scum. That's why I picked them to win, and they did. I even got the goal scorer. Didn't get it. Didn't get the 3-1.
2-1 Arsenal. Yeah, I don't like us not keeping a clean sheet. I have a feeling I'll get into that when we get to the predictions. All right, Ipswich. The problem here, Tom, is the clean sheet. I just don't see Ipswich keeping a clean sheet. They may put up 4. They may win 4-1.
I was going to say, if you have to do the clean sheet, I would take out D-Lap to score, do 4-1, and then do Vardy to score. Not first, do Vardy to score.
And Smodix has been coming off the bench, hasn't he?
Smodix has scored all their goals first. He scored first last week. He scored first at Etihad. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has scored first goal. He scored all their first goals. There may be a game where he didn't, but I remember him doing it last week and against Man City. I mean, don't get me wrong. Then Man City then took the game over. Obviously, it was like, Sammy, go and sit down, mate. You're done for the day, kind of thing. But yeah, you're not the first person to say that, Mr. Lawrence. To be fair, so. Director John, if you don't mind, the final fantabulous Director John, and basically this will be a draw. It will. It's always a draw. It's always Sunday afternoon, and it's usually 1-1. But I want to go more exciting. It's going to be Desmond Tutu. Yeah, there's the man himself. Palmer to score, obviously, because Palmer, and Hoyland to score because someone. Yeah,
that's not a bad bet.
I think this is the one most likely to actually occur. In all seriousness, so breaking news? Sorry, did you hear Amarim's been sacked? Oh no, wait. Sorry, I'm practicing for 2027 when it actually happens. It's bound to be.
I don't mind this bet. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a 4-4. I think this is going to be a shit show of defending. But I could see a draw happening and Chelsea thinking they're great, yet still having issues.
Comment. That's very good. Finger the Duck and Scooby are mates. Like, that's long been established. You will never get to slag off Finger the Duck while Scooby's in the chat. You'll never get away with it, sir. It will never happen. But yeah, in all seriousness, 2-2. I think it's the one that's most likely to get right or occur. Admittedly, the payout's a bit lower, but it reflects that, I suppose. But it'll be a great game if that actually happens. I mean, I'm not going to watch it because why would I watch Premier League?
I think, Rosie, you're right. Every other week, Chelsea win this. But this is a weird week where they've sacked the manager. They've got Ruud van Nistelrooy in there. And not that he's brilliant or anything, but you have this weird new manager bounce, interim manager bounce, where they'll come out and they'll play a little bit better and score a few goals. And I don't know. I don't see a win, but a draw against Chelsea right now is a win for Man United.
Just looking at a head-to-head between them. Just that, because I'll be very surprised if it's not a lot of draws. They've lost 83 times to Man United. They've won 56 and they've drawn 36. And a lot of those draws would have been recently, it feels like.
Yeah,
there was a time where it was always 1-1. But
yeah, I don't like those historical fucking. They played 872 times. Like, it doesn't matter. That includes the Fergie era. That includes the Mourinho era for both clubs, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, though, they did have 5 draws at the start of the decade. That's a lot of draws.
Yeah.
5 in a row. All 1-1, apart from 0-0. But it's Sunday afternoon. You know, there's goals in Sunday afternoon games, as we found out last week at the Emirates. So
it was a 2-2.
Yeah,
it was a Desmond. All right, we got any bonus bets here?
The Magic 3, not the correct scores. Newcastle to win, Ipswich to win, Chelsea Man United draw. £30 or $39 for anyone who's daft enough to follow this in the Americas.
Thank you, Lawrence. I respect that. Thank you.
Well, Tom, you're an American, so
I totally am. Oh, sorry. I mean, yeah, John. Howdy, partner. You're right.
Howdy, partner.
Howdy, partner. You're right, bro.
Like so racist. Howdy, partner.
Not the worst thing I've been called this week. I get called a lot of things. It's just easier to let it wash over you.
Yeah.
Tom bets just a draw, right? Yes, on this one, just a draw. I mean, if this ever actually happened, I was totally doing East LA. I totally wasn't going to start doing Mr. T. I'm totally going to do Mr. T. Mr. T from Rocky 3 specifically.
John, you could voice Scooby-Doo? I don't know. I'm not even sure what that...
I kind of want to know how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
Put All right. Pipe down, Rosie. It's cold, not caked. Cold.
All right, let's get into it. Let's break down the week, Tom. Let's see that schedule up here, John, if you got it. First and foremost, we know Arsenal are playing away at Newcastle. Newcastle, who's been up and down and all over. They don't know who the hell they are right now. Newcastle, Arsenal. Tom, I know you picked a 2-1 in your betting, but what does the football fan in you, the football expert in you, actually think about this match?
I think this is I think it's got draw written all over it, and neither team are going to be happy. I genuinely think your club, something will happen which will give the club an excuse to be like, well, that's why we never won. That's why we never won, because the referee did this. The ball never went out, or we kicked the ball out, and we got a yellow, or whatever. There's always something.
The ball did go
Arsenal.
out. The ball did go out, Tom. It went out. The ball.
I can't remember. I just know that it was the opposite to what you wanted to happen.
And then there was a fucking foul. Joel Linton on. Okay. Anyway.
I don't do facts here. I have to do facts all week. I ain't doing facts here on Friday night on the Stoop.
All right. Anthony says Newcastle 1, Arsenal 2. Lawrence agrees. Yeah, and it was in the West Ham game. Yep.
I cannot begin to tell you how much I don't care where the ball was in either situation.
Newcastle, Arsenal. I think Arsenal. I think no. Big win for Arsenal. Big 3-0. 3-0. Clean sheet. We got Gabby and Saliba back in action together.
How long were they out of action?
Sheet. 2 matches.
Oh.
One match.
What? One match? Oh,
only one match.
Talking like they've played together for like 7 years.
No, 2 matches. 2 matches. They were out 2 matches because Gabrielle got hurt. So midweek when we played Preston North End.
4-0?
I don't know about 4-0. Arsenal kind of sit back once they get a lead, and I think we get an early goal. We'll get the second goal before halftime, and then we'll kind of sit back we'll sit back for most of the first half and get a late second goal, and then in the beginning of the second half, we'll get our third goal and sit back for the rest of the fucking match. I wish we would go off and put like 6 or 7 against you guys. But
quick question for Tony, so it just won't take long. Tony, why is your team worse now than it was when you actually finished in the top 4? Because you've spent money since then. So like, why is it worse? Because you bought Tonali for example, and things like that. And like, I think your team is actually better than the one that finished fourth. But you're sitting there thinking you'll lose 4-0. Just find that. I mean, obviously, you know more about your club than I do, but it just strikes me as something I wouldn't expect from. Like if Leeds went from basically bottom 4 to Champions League spot, I'd expect 2 years later to be like that team was better than you know what I mean? I'm just the money that comes with it and all that. You'd think you'd put it to use, but fireworks. But still, so Bournemouth are going to beat Man City 7-0 then.
7-0.
It's about time someone beats them 7-0. I'm sick of this Man City team.
Excuse me.
Just beating everyone or drawing with everyone, not getting beat 7-0. Someone needs to properly pump them.
Yeah, and let's let it be Bournemouth. Let's let Bournemouth collect some scalps. They beat Arsenal already. Let's let them beat Man City. Why not? Fuck it. Arsenal B team. Let's go. Oh no, Fulham is Arsenal B team. Sorry.
Yeah. That's a great destination for Arsenal players to have Fulham, because like you can stay in the Premier League and you haven't got to move house. It's really helpful.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, I mean, because if you want to leave Leeds and have not have to move house, you got to go Sheffield United. Who wants to play for Sheffield United?
Yeah.
I'd rather.
So, what do you actually think about? What's your actual prediction on Bournemouth Man City?
Oh, Bournemouth. I actually think Man City might win it 3-2. You know why we're in second tier, Moss? Because we were fucking shit in the Premier League. That is why we're in second tier, because we didn't get enough points. I don't know, am I supposed to come out of an excuse? I don't have an excuse. The fact is we got less points than 15 of the other teams, because I'm not including myself. Or sorry, 16 of the other teams, however it was. And hello, Daniel, come on, your Spurs. But I have no excuse. We should have got more points than we did. And part of the reason we didn't is because of Jesse fucking Marsh. Fuck him.
So 3-2 Man City.
Yes. Yeah, in all seriousness. 3-2 to Man City.
I'm calling this 1-0 Man City. It's going to be stupid, and we're going to have hope the whole game that Bournemouth can pull something out, and they just fucking won't. And Man City will get 3 points from a shitty performance, and you know who's going to be the goal scorer? Probably fucking Kovacic. Or Vardiel. Or Vardiel. Like, all the people captaining Erling Haaland, you're fucked. You're fucked. I'm telling you. You need to be captaining Smotic or Delap. Or Bowen. Captain. No, Forrest has been pretty tough at home. Who should you captain this week? This is a tough one.
I've on an upset pick game by the Arsenal fan circle where you basically have to pick a team to beat a team above them in the table. I have selected West Ham this week to win at Nottingham Forest.
They might win, but they're not going to put up big goals.
Oh no, I just need them to win.
1-0, 2-0.
To get points for it, I just need them to win. Like the actual number of goals is irrelevant. I do genuinely think Ipswich will beat Leicester. Maybe not 4-0. He's not, Moss. He's really not. He's really not. I mean, I know you. I know, like he's doing well with you right now, but when you're lower in the world rankings than San Marino, and then he's standing there on touchline going, "It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. My players are all happy." They're not. No players happy we're losing. I'll tell you that for free. But still, I mean, you won't end up below San Marino. I'm exaggerating, But anyway, sorry.
All
Sorry,
right,
I'm having 8 different arguments at once. Sorry.
I know. I'm trying to keep up here. Ipswich, Leicester. You do think Ipswich are going to win?
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm sorry. However, I think this will be a draw. I think this will be your Desmond.
That's a fair point, because in the Championship last year, I believe they
there you go, Anthony, at the same exact time. Anthony pops up the same exact score that I said. There you go.
I think they had 2-1-1 draws last year. I could be wrong, but they definitely drew twice. But no, I think, because if Ipswich ain't going to win this game, who are they going to beat?
Yeah, for real.
Like, if they don't win tomorrow, it's like you look at their fixture list and you're like, all right, at what stage are you actually going to get a win? What, on game 17, 18?
They haven't won a single game yet.
They've not won a game.
Fuck, Wolves have.
Neither have Wolves or Southampton. Jesus. But I'll tell you this, I'm less worried about Wolves than I am about them. I mean, I'm not worried about any of them, really, so I don't give a shit. But in terms of, like, actually, like, making it sound like we're having a discussion about it, I think Wolves will be fine.
Yeah, I do
wrong.
too.
I don't think I will, but I really think, not just for Mark's sake, I just got the feeling that Wolves will hit a patch where they'll eke out a couple 1-0 wins, and they'll pull away from that mess down there. You only need 10 wins anyway this season, because someone's going to survive on 31 points.
We'll see. It's looking like some bad teams here. Oh, I love seeing Man United way down there. That's beautiful. Wish they wouldn't have sacked Ten Hag. Worst decision ever. All right. Let's go to Liverpool Brighton. This, for me, is the upset of the week. I think Brighton gets something here.
Well, even though they already lost to them this week. I know it's reserve teams, and I get that. But
yeah, but you know what? Towards the end of the match, Brighton pulled 2 goals back. So this is my upset of the week. Brighton is a better team than they are letting on, and Liverpool are not as good of a team as they are letting on. So Arsenal really should have put the sword to them last week, and we just didn't, which is what I was saying about, like, I can't blame that on referee decisions when we had plenty of time to absolutely put them away, and we didn't.
I agree. I don't think
you've got a secondary goalkeeper in there. Like, yes, Kelleher is probably as good as most Premier League keepers, but he's not Allison.
Not many people are.
I think only one of them are.
I've heard that might be true as well. But I think if I was to actually put my house on it, I would go Liverpool to shave up like a 1-goal win. Like 2-1.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. Like it'll be very close. But I'm gonna lead with Brighton winning this one.
It wouldn't surprise me if they won there like it would have a couple of years ago. But I can't really see past Liverpool edging it. Purely because Liverpool own. And I know they've already given away their customary loss that no one expects them to get at home, because they lost to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
They generally don't.
It's only fucking Anfield when Arsenal play there. God damn it.
I mean, say what you will, Jesse Marsh has won there. So I'll give him that. I'll never take that away from him. I won't, Moss. Moss, have you ever actually seen when he won at Ellen Road and then won down the touchline like he owned the place? Which he did. Like, again, never take that away from him. He won at Anfield. But it's probably why he got the job. I bet when he turned up to that interview, he didn't have on his application form, because I don't know if football managers do that, like it's a natural job, but he did not sit there and say, oh, I've worked for the Red Bull system, or I won the MLS Supporters Shield in whatever year. He had written in big letters, you know, like when you do a stamper, like you've been accepted, hired, or fired, or whatever, like in comedy stamp. It just said, "R1 at Anfield, give me the fucking job," and they did. That may or may not have happened, but I'm gonna pretend that it did.
Doing that later, BX.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Great idea. Forest West Ham. I'm going 2-1. Nottingham Forest.
I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham because I think Nottingham Forest they're having a great season. Chris Wood is having like a career year. But because of that, I think they're going to take their foot off the gas tomorrow, and West Ham are going to take full advantage. I mean, don't get me wrong. If they don't, I won't lose sleep over it. I will not lose sleep over it if Nottingham Forest win this 4-0, but I don't think they will. I'm a smart man, Lawrence, and I'm well aware you're just saying that because I said your team are going to win. You sneaky fucker. But still.
No, West Ham should be better, but I think it's going to take them to the second half of the season to figure that out, and West Ham will be perfectly fine sitting in a 11th or 12th, between 12 and 8th place. But they're having a rough go of it right now, but they'll figure shit out. But Forest is playing very well, and Forest are always better at home. So I think they're going to take that momentum. It may be back and forth for a bit, but 2-1 Forest.
Chris Wood is the thing of football is that no matter how much they change the tactics in football and like they go tiki-taka to long ball, whatever, the one thing that will never ever go out of fashion, Lolo, is sticking a big fucker up front. That will never go out of fashion, no matter what you do with a ball.
Yeah.
Ever. And Chris Wood will always have a team, even at the bottom of the Premier League, there will always be a team that will put Chris Wood up front because of what he can do, potentially. Whether he does it or not, he did it 30 times for Leeds, to be fair to him. But he played for Leeds in the Championship.
I just hate him. He had like 40 chances last season against Man City, and I just... it felt like he was trying not to fucking score. All right, let's go to El Crapico. El Crapico, Southampton, Everton.
Did you see Southampton were drawing 2-2 with Stoke, even though Stoke had 9% possession?
No, I didn't see that.
9. It was a graphic on screen. Stoke had 9% possession and they'd scored twice. They did lose. Like, Southampton won the game. But still, that just summed up. And I'm sitting there thinking, how did Leeds United lose to that team 3 times last season? Just...
Well, I'm going 3-3. But I think Everton scores 3 in the first half. And Southampton scores 3 in the second half.
I think Everton are basically gonna make some. Basically, they will score a non-goal, as in, like, Southampton are gonna what's the word? They're all gonna come together and conspire to basically fuck something up, and Everton will score. And then Everton will continue to conspire to not add to it because they suck. And Everton will win. If he was truly too smart for Leeds, he wouldn't have applied for it.
All right, Wolves Palace. What do we think, Wolves Palace? Do you think Wolves can actually win this?
Yeah, 100%. I think this has got Wolves 1-0 win written all over it. Don't get me wrong. Don't hold me to that. Because at 3:05 in the UK tomorrow, when it says that Crystal Palace are winning 1-0, and I'll feel like a right idiot, but not that much of an idiot because you'd have to care about it to actually feel like one. So, but yeah, Wolves will win 1-0.
Yeah, I'm with Mr. POTUS on this 1-1 more fest.
I mean,
Wolves have been,
to be honest,
Wolves have been shocking, but Wolves have also played some pretty intense competition. They played everybody so far, I believe. They played Arsenal, they played City, they played Chelsea.
There's a lot of Crystal Palace wins being predicted when you all know they're going to put Eddie Nketiah up front.
Yeah. Well, that being said, Tom, let me ask you for the Saturday, Saturday matches from the morning one through all of those. What do you think, or maybe you can find it out on your phone? What about both teams to score all the way down the line? I think I'm going to place that bet. Both teams to score all the way down the line.
Okay, give me a moment, and you can usually get like special bets where they basically like actually just give you that every game in the 3 p.m. So I'll have a look if that's a thing. Specials.
Yeah, Lawrence, I hear you. I hear you. West Ham's schedule hasn't been fucking easy. But you've also lost games that I expected you to win. Let me look at West Ham's schedule. Who have you guys actually played? West Ham kicked off the year against Villa. Then you played Palace. Then you played City, Fulham, Chelsea, Brentford, Ipswich, Tottenham, United. So, I mean, to be honest, yeah, you lost to Tottenham. You drew with Brentford. You lost to Chelsea, lost to City, and you lost to Villa. And you drew with Fulham. So actually, if you look at West Ham are doing absolutely fine. Lost to Villa, you know what? You should lose to Villa. You beat Palace, you should beat Palace. You lost to City, you should. You drew with Fulham, that's a good result. You lost to Chelsea, okay. Drew with Brentford, okay. Beat Ipswich.
That looks a lot different before they lost last week, though, because they were in trouble before they won a couple of games.
Who?
West Ham.
West Ham?
Yeah, if they'd have lost last week, this would have had a whole different feel to it. But they did win,
but once again, it would have been to Man United. As bad as Man United are, it's still Man United. So it would have been like, okay, fine, now you have to win at Forest. Now all of a sudden you're going, you don't have to win at Forest. You have to put in a good showing and hopefully come out with the point. And then you go to you're home to Everton next, and you can take care of them.
I actually forgot that they beat Man United last week. I thought it was Crystal Palace. So yeah,
no, yeah, they actually did that.
Fucked that up. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They so I'm having to do each one individually because they don't offer
But that's where, like, I'm saying Wolves have played Brighton, City, Brentford, Villa, Liverpool, Newcastle, Forest, Chelsea, and Arsenal. Like, Forest, they maybe should have won.
I do think
Brentford they should have won, but like
if I had the Peacock streaming service and I had to pick one of them games to watch at the 3 o'clock games in the UK, I would watch. Hello, Brownie. How you doing? I would watch Ipswich versus Leicester because they're going to be so desperate for a win that it's going to be carnage. Same with Palace and Wolves, actually. No, I might actually watch that. But I think Ipswich maybe have a bit more attacking quality, and as good as they potentially are attacking wise, they're shocking defensively. So I just think those could be ones to watch. I mean, I'm not going to watch them. Have a good night, Jimmy.
All right, Jimmy. Love seeing you here,
when
Jimmy.
He says I'll see you Sunday, I think he might mean because he'll be back for We All Love Leeds. So,
well, there you go. What is that you're talking about? We All Love Leeds? Never heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard there's a YouTube show called We All Love Leeds, which has there's a host with a fantastic beard, although it doesn't show it in the picture. Who's going to talk about his love of Leeds, and then he throws up photographs of things that make him laugh in football. And if you all find it funny, then that's a coincidence. But it's mainly things that make me laugh. Anyway, what? I apologise. Should be more specific. It's a great show. It's live at 9 p.m. in the UK. And I believe it's probably going to be 5 p.m. because our clock changed. When does your clock change, Lola? Out of interest.
Saturday night, I think.
Also, it will actually be 4 p.m. in the United States,
and it might be back to EST instead of EDT, which is so dumb. Really hey, is. You're playing Plymouth Argyle. Do you all have the term like an Argyle sweater?
I believe we do.
Like, you know what an Argyle pattern is?
No? Is it like? Is it part of like the the film Argyle? I don't know if you saw that this year.
Yes, I actually did on a plane.
But I got
it's like that like
the
diamond
shape. Yeah, it's part of the logo of the film.
Harlequin.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Why don't they use that as their kit? Like, why aren't they all running around in Argyle sweaters, Argyle socks?
Well, I imagine it's because they're not that cruel to make their team dressed like a bunch of cunts.
Wow.
Pardon my language.
What did you say? Jumper. Argyle? A Pringle jumper.
Pringle. Why are they always hiding both teams to score?
Yeah.
You'd be astonished. I mean, it's very low, the payout for this so far. But
how is it very low? Well, no, the fact that you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams, it should be up to $100 probably.
Nah.
No.
Because the defense, a lot of the teams that are playing in the 3 o'clock game, there's going to be goals. So.
Yeah.
You know what? I could be wrong here. I think I've included Arsenal in this, so I might have to knock them off.
Mr. POTUS, it brings up a good point. He says Arsenal will beat Newcastle tomorrow. Everyone wanted Eddie Howe as England manager, and he's going to be on his way out if Newcastle lose tomorrow. If Arsenal put a hurting on Newcastle, I would not be shocked if that didn't happen.
I think they'd be mad to sack Eddie Howe.
They would be, but it's less about them sacking him and him parting ways to take that job now that it's open,
Well, I'm going to do Wolves and Palace to bump this up. But basically, including Arsenal, this will
and Wolves and Palace. I'm saying all Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, all right, cool. So this will... Sorry, I don't mean to be sat like I'm not paying attention to anything because it's just fucking boring trying to do all this individual. Basically, it's 25.56 to 1 for every game on Saturday to be both teams to score. It actually makes sense.
That might be an easy dollar. Easy $25 to make.
I mean, that is generally how much it tends to be, like in my shop. Like, see, like,
yeah. All right, Tom, tell me about Spurs and Villa.
Oh, well, it's 2 teams I don't like. Sorry, it's a team I don't like. It's 2. To put it another way, 2 teams that I don't respect are playing each other, followed by 2 teams that I absolutely hate playing each other. So on Sunday I'll basically be doing other things. Anything else? But no, I actually think this will. I think Spurs will win this. I feel dirty saying that, but I do think Spurs will win this.
Where'd he go?
I think he got so offended by me saying that Spurs might win this that he preemptively just went and shat himself. I have no idea, of course.
I don't
but
either.
It is what it is. Moss, tell us about Moss time. I couldn't help it.
Sorry, I thought you would have more to say about that. I just had to take a quick potty break, but Jesus.
Well, no, I don't know what to say other than, Spurs have a team that should win most games. But Aston Villa have built a team that tends to beat the teams that should win most games. But still, I just got a feeling that because they've got European games coming up this week, I could be wrong. I get the feeling Villa are going to rest players for the Champions League game if they are playing one. Could be wrong, but I don't know. I mean, admittedly, I've only really started thinking about this match like when you actually went for a piss. But other than that, I don't know what to say about it. I don't like either team. I wouldn't lose sleep if either team got relegated.
Yeah, I hate both of them. This is one that I'm kind of hoping for a draw. Bob, good to see you, Bob.
Look at this guy.
Where you been?
Wow, look at that. I did text him earlier.
We even put your logos up earlier.
How's the mic, Bob? How's the mic? How's my American accent, Bob?
Oh, God damn it. Bab. Hey, Bab.
Bob.
From your shirt, Scooby. Comes from your shirt.
Tom avoids quality. It could be argued to be true.
Yeah. Check his
She
dating
She
profile.
said more lies about me than that. So,
Very good to see you, Bob. Retro Volt Arcade. If anybody's out in California, you need to go check out this arcade. It's awesome. We're going to go out there someday. We will go out there,
What's your newest arcade game, Bob? What's the newest one you got in the... I don't know if it's right to call it the store or the shop. Like,
no, they're not really selling things.
No, I know that, but they sell the experience of playing the games, right?
More of a, yeah.
It's called an arcade.
Yeah.
Yes, it's called an arcade. Uncanny X-Men Pinball. Nice.
There you go.
All right.
Do you still have WrestleFest? It's an old one from like the early 90s. It's very popular.
All right. Back to Spurs Villa. I am going 2-2. Draw.
Bob's a man with sense. He's got WrestleFest. Of course he has. Because he likes making money, and the best way to do that is to have WrestleFest on your premises. Also, the Simpsons game is very popular. I know I'm not telling him anything. He knows this anyway.
Yep.
The sock elf comes with. Oh my god, that went in direct.
Stop reading his comments. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
Man United versus Chelsea. I think we already talked about this one a little bit earlier.
I genuinely think it'll be a draw.
Look, if this game was played last week, I'm going Chelsea 4-1. But this weird little interim bounce could happen. Plus, they're playing at home. They got something to prove. I think you're right. You had him at a Desmond, right?
Yeah.
I see a draw, but it could be 3-3, could be 4-4. But let's go with the Desmond on here. Let's go 2-2.
I really think it'll be 1-1. But the actual betting, to actually make money on it,
I just don't think their defenses are. I don't think their defenses are good enough to only give up one goal.
You could be right, but I'll say we'll have to see what happens. I'm not going to watch it, so you'll all have to see what happens and then tell me what happens. Like,
I'm gonna have a hard time watching any matches this weekend, unfortunately. even Arsenal at 8:30 in the morning. I'm gonna already be out at the store buying stuff. My daughter turns 3 in the morning, and we are having a 3-year-old birthday party that we forgot to buy anything for. So I have to get up early and go to the store tomorrow and buy a whole bunch of stuff for this party. So happy birthday to my little 3-year-old monster that lives upstairs. Yeah, but it'll be fun. So it just never bodes well for Arsenal when I'm doing things for a birthday party or a kid's party or something, and I'm watching like from my phone and doing shit. This is always, it's what happened the other 2 weeks ago with Bournemouth. It was my other daughter's birthday. She turned 7, and I was watching it. It was on at the place that we were at, and I'm just like, this, it always fucking happens. It was Villa last year. It was Villa the year before. These fucking birthday parties, they're killing me. But
Matt
hopefully
James
this is set up time. So
Matt James put up a comment, which I can't say anything against it, but it did put the thought in my mind of, that's right, Mount plays for Manchester United, because I've not seen him yet. Well, apparently, like he's registered with them. I don't know when he's going to play his first game for him or when he's going to start playing or anything, but.
No, wasn't he the best signing ever? Wasn't everybody touting him
since the last
Who was
one?
It?
Yeah.
Oh, Mount and Maddison went at the same time, and Tottenham and United fans were all like, "Oh, we got the better one. No, we got the better one. No, we got the better one." It was like, Mount just fucking dismounted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Maddison's won out of that battle. It's not really a battle. Maddison's quite,
and he hasn't done all that much.
That's what I mean. It's like
Madison hasn't done all that much, and he's still winning.
A tortoise beat a dead rat in a race.
Thank you, Rosie.
Because the rat died, kind of thing. But other than that, just.
Oh my God, 20 and 6'3". My children will never be 6'3" unless they're wearing super high heels. We got that Mexican blood.
She's probably not actually mentioning though that he's stood on milk crates or something. She keeps that quiet.
My poor daughter keeps saying, "I can't wait till I'm like this tall and this tall and this tall," and I was like, "Girl, you could be waiting a long time."
Like you a while.
hate to tell you, but you think Poppy is tall because you're just very little right now.
You ever want to
You're gonna grow up and realize. Yeah, there you go. Whack them with the rock in the head; they'll understand. All right, let's get to the last match of the week. We saved it for Monday because this is an incredible match between Fulham and Brentford. I'm taking the piss, but it's actually 2 decent clubs right now. This could actually be one of the most entertaining matches of the week.
It's a great match for fans of both clubs because all 12 of them basically live really near the stadium. And they'll be able to get home relatively quick. They'll be home by 10:30. Be really great for them. Lovely match. The Fulham Ultras will be out in force with their cheese boards, and it'll be great.
The Fulham Ultras will be out with their cheese balls. And
cheese boards.
Really
boards.
Cheese boards.
With cheese on it. Yes, with cheese on it. Different cheeses.
Classy.
Selection of
fancy.
Cheese. Well,
Are Fulham people fancy?
Supposedly. That's the perception, is that they're the poshest fan base.
Wow, cheese boards.
When they've got their loafers on.
Yes, Rosie, they really are, and it's my own damn fault. When I'm a little bit sick and then I drink 4 or 5 beers, it just my head cold right there. So yeah, and I'm trying to blow my nose without fucking up my makeup right now. So as soon as this show is over, blowing that shit out. So stick around for the after party. You guys can be backstage and watch me blow my nose and mess up my makeup. There you go.
No, I totally thought you meant code. It totally didn't sound like you meant nose at all.
I thought it was a combination of nose and cold. I was like, blow that cold out.
Blow your cold?
Blow that cold out.
That doesn't sound PG.
No. I'm like getting... I keep muting the mic to like blow my nose, but my little tissue here is all like black makeup going on right now. And I made it this far in the show with this makeup that I kind of need to keep it on. All right, well, that's it, guys. We have talked about everything that we can talk about for the evening, right? Now I'm so close. Anyway, listen, it's been a great time talking to you, Tom. This was great. It actually flew by. Why? I guess because I got to talk more than usual.
Hey, I'm not judging. I had a great time. I'm sure they had a great time. I don't care if they had a great time, but it's all right. I think they had an all right time. Like they all got to talk to Rosie. Of course, they had a great time.
I didn't.
Yeah.
John, why didn't you have a great time?
Is it because we didn't talk about our sponsors or our other people's shows? Because I did happen to save the last 4 minutes of the show. There we go. Don't forget to catch the road trip or the trip with our he's not here today, but our lovely friend, Mr. Gary, who's here. He does a show Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 in the UK. And then he does Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK. Not I don't know about daylight saving times and all that shit. So it may be different this weekend, but
yeah, but basically we'll sit there.
Hot curry sounds great. I actually, Rosie, to be honest, I have a green chili chicken stew that I've been cooking all day upstairs, and I can't wait to go eat that, and that'll clear out a bunch of this shit.
It will.
Yeah.
It really will.
So yeah, and what other shows do we have here?
I should actually double check that Gary set the time right, because
well, he set it to his time.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out We All Love Leeds as well. If you love Leeds, we all love Leeds. It's on with Ben.
I was right. He set it for 2:00 in the UK, because of course he did. Of course he did. You know what? Yeah, I just realised I can change it. I'll change it right now. The magic of
Cocaine
technology
is good for a blocked nose. Cocaine wouldn't get up the nose right now. Are you out of your mind? Anyway, we love y'all. It's been great talking with y'all. I'm glad you guys have had a lot of fun talking in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you don't mind. It does a lot of good for us. But I've had a great time. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will see you next week, and I hope all of your teams lose, except for you Arsenal fans and you Leeds fans.
and Plymouth.
But
you hope Plymouth loses, of course. I misheard what you initially said, so
I said I hope all of your teams lose, except for Leeds fans. And I was like, why do you want me to include Plymouth with their Argyle sweaters?
I was wrong. I got a bit clever and I fucked it up.
Anyway, I think John dropped the link there for you. If you guys want to join us backstage for a little talk, we'll be backstage for a minute, and we can talk. Other than that, we will see you next week. Director John, play us out. Thank you all. Love you. Peace.